The foiling in Belgium Welcome to Wraith Unlimited is more premium than Japanese Welcome to Wraith Unlimited. And I know a lot of the OGs are like, Bronson, shut up. LSS is like, damn, it's about damn time they figured it out. And a lot of other people are like, what the fuck is this guy saying? So I want to get into this topic. I don't want to make it too long of a video. And I'm not sure if this was completely intentional by Legend Story Studios to make it this way. But in my opinion, and I think from what you will see very shortly, is Belgium Welcome to Wraith Unlimited cards have much better foiling than the Japanese Unlimited Rainbow foiling. And in my mind, personally as a collector, I'm just wondering, why is this not reflective in the prices in the secondary market that we see out there? In TCG Player and other marketplaces, you don't see, hey, Belgium Heart of Fyendel versus Japanese Heart of Fyendel. There's a big difference, and I will go into that in a bit. Before I do, I want to, as always, disclose my positions. I have about 5 Heart of Fyendels. I think 2 of them are Japanese, 3 are Belgium. I haven't really used this information to my benefit, to be honest, as much as I probably should have. I have a lot of Belgium Welcome to Wraith Unlimited in my closet. I have about probably 50 plus boxes, around that range, because I believe in the game. I bought them a long time ago and supported my store, of course, and well, supported a store, I will say. So, oh, and I supported myself, I guess. See how it works like that? So, that's just my disclosure of what I personally own. I personally, as a content creator, like to disclose. So, I have around 5 hearts. I have a bunch of singles. I have 50 boxes in my closet. So, you're very well aware. So, going into more of like the contextual theory before I show you the cards, is that I believe Legend Story Studios likes to put little things in front of our faces and lets us, the consumers of the product, figure things out. Like, one good example is if you look at the card back of Flesh and Blood, it's got a bunch of symbols and a bunch of like different letterings that I figured out with the card back cryptogram. There's a lot of other cryptogram type aspects in the artwork itself. Also, the artwork for Flesh and Blood, a lot of times it doesn't just show you a random picture. There's a lot of symbolism in the type of things that you're seeing. You're seeing a story play out for the actual gameplay. If you're building a Flesh and Blood deck, not a lot of times is it like a defined type of, hey, this is the deck you should play. There's a lot of gameplay where you have to construct a deck and there's a puzzle within that self, right? The puzzle is how do you take the meta and all the cards in there of what heroes are playing, and how do you construct a deck that's going to, beat the competition. It's a puzzle, right? You have to figure it out. There's a lot of figuring shit out in Flesh and Blood is my main point. Now, the concept of cards get less flashy over time was said a lot in 2021, 2022-ish. And I think this really goes around that concept. So if you think about September 2020 is when Welcome to Wraith Unlimited first dropped. And this was the Belgium print. Belgium print was the first printing of Welcome to Wraith Unlimited. It happened around September 2020 is when it was released to the public. I remember that time was wild. A lot of FOMO, and then a lot of just fear and people selling out of the game, and then the game like just drastically, skyrocketed. We've all heard the story. After September 2020, around 2021-ish, 2022, I forgot the exact time frame, is when they printed it again in the Japanese print. Now, if you think about it, Belgium first, Japanese second. And what I'm asserting is Belgium was more flashy, right? More foiling. The foiling is better than the Japanese print afterwards. Combined, it has a print run of 248,000 booster boxes. The big question a lot of people have out there is how many are from Belgium, how many are from Japanese. I've heard that Belgium is a little bit less than Japanese, but I don't want to make that assertion in this video because I don't have enough information that's concrete to really assert anything. But that could also be a very big factor in the collectability of these cards. Now, the biggest question I have is like, why on the secondary market we haven't really seen a price differential between these cards if one looks better than the other. So I think that that's really the main thing put out there, and I think that really should be discussed. So I will show you right now the different cards. So I have one Belgium, one Japanese, rainbow foil, Heart of Fyendal. And I will just discuss and show you. Bring the card up to the camera so you can see. So let's do Belgium first, right? See if this shows it. All right. So you can see the very bottom here, the text box, and the borders here have foiling. It's kind of hard to see at first, but when it's in your hands, you can see the foiling. So you can see the foiling right here that's glowing along the thing here, and the text box. So you can see that, you know, rainbow foilish type thing. It also looks very bright overall compared to the Japanese print. And if you notice, this branch is light right here. Make a note of that. Now I'll put them side to side in a bit, but this is just to show you the Belgium print Heart of Fyendal. Again, the rainbow foiling here around the borders, and then in the text box is a thing as well as its light. So let's go with our Japanese print card. Now this is a Japanese print card. If it will adjust, there we go. You can see that along the sides here, these borders have no foiling, along with the text box at the bottom. If come on, camera. Give it a sec. Get mad. Camera just does not want to focus. There we go. But you can see the bottom right there. There's no foiling. I can do this. There's no foil on the bottom. It's just the foiling in the center. And the center isn't really as foily as the Belgium card. So it's a lot less foily. It's still a Heart of Fyendal. It's still a beautiful card, of course. But you can definitely see, as time has progressed, the flashiness has decreased, as a young philosopher once said. So, yeah, that's the whole difference. I don't want to go too far into this. Let me hold them side by side. I took them out of their... I have them in top loaders. Oh, let me switch it up on you. Let me put it in the front of the screen, and you guys can decide which one's which. Okay. You tell? Welcome to Wraith 1. Belgium is on the left, and Japanese on the right. You can see that the Japanese one is a lot darker, and this one's lighter, and this one has the foil all over. I'll do it again. Randomly sorting through my hand, putting on screen. This is Japanese. This is Welcome to Wraith, Belgium. So that's it. So that's really just to show you the whole difference between them. This has way more foiling than this. And really, overall, you know, I'll do the counter, the devil's advocate, right? Yeah, it doesn't really matter. They're both Heart of Fyendals. Yeah, maybe it is a little bit different between the printing. Maybe collectors really don't care. Maybe it's, you know, not that big of a deal because it's really the same card, and the foiling isn't really as much on the center. And I do see how, in a way, people wouldn't, you know, care as much. But I don't know. I'd like to hear in the comment section down below, everyone who's watching this, what do you think? Do you think that there should be a premium on the Belgium print over the Japanese print? Personally, I see a pretty big difference. I mean, when you have the foiling around the sides, in the middle, and then like on the text box, and on the artwork itself, it looks a lot more just foily in nature. I think that just does justify a premium versus the Japanese print, which is not as much foiling all over. It's still a beautiful card, don't get me wrong, but I just don't know why there isn't a premium on Belgium versus Japanese print. It's kind of confusing there. And something also just to really note is that we don't know the whole how do I say, quantity of printing, how much the print run of each card are in each set. So let's say, for instance, for example, if for the Belgium print for the hearts, Belgium was 1 for 2, like for every Belgium card. Let's say this is a fake number. 1,000 Belgium Heart of Fyendals versus 2,000 Japanese, then that one's going to be a lot more valuable because it's more scarce. There's a scarcity factor that could be at play that we don't really know at this time. And we might not know for a little bit out there. And overall, it's just something really big to consider, especially if you're going to a vendor and you see, a Belgian print and you have a Japanese print. And you're like, hey, I'll pay you the $5 to give you a little swap. So you can, if you have a Japanese print, you can, trade into a Belgium one pretty easy. Something definitely to note. Something also to just as a very side note to this is always make sure that you're buying legit cards. These two, I think I open in packs. But fakes are definitely a very just something always to consider, right? As you always want to make sure that you're buying legit stuff, and when you're transacting with stuff this high value. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. I'd be curious to hear what your thoughts are on the differential in price between these cards, and it really begs the question: if there is a difference in price, what should it be? I think we won't really know that until we do know if there is a difference between the quantity of supply. But I could definitely see a $50 premium on what is it, the Belgium versus the Japanese. If it looks visually more foily and pops more, I think that really does justify a higher price tag. I mean, it does look visually, in my opinion, and that's the problem. A lot of subjectivity is in this. I personally think the Belgium one looks a lot better than the Japanese print. And it does go through the philosophy of, hey, make things less flashy over time. Where, yeah, the first printing was the Belgium for Welcome to Wraith Unlimited. It's, flashy, it's not cold foil, it's rainbow foil. But then, okay, more boxes are needed. We'll print it in the Japanese print, but we'll make it less foily. And something to note with this, too, is this is on all cards in these sets. I just used Hard to Find Out as an example because it's like the cream of the crop card that I think that collectors would put more of a premium on to get the more premium version. But this is for every card in the set that is foil. The foiling looks a lot better in Belgium than the Japanese print. And I think that there is a good possibility that this is completely intentional by LSS to just put a little like Easter egg in the game and to show like, hey, like we want to maintain the collectability of the people who were around in September 2020. Those people should have a more premium card than the people who got into the game late in 2021, if that makes any sense. It makes a lot of sense to me, right? They value people's loyalty, and if you buy the product earlier than someone else, then you get a little bit more of a premium of a card. Now, does it like make the world difference? Who knows? And I think that it's really up to the secondary market, people like us, to really figure out should there be a premium. It's not up to LSS, right? They just do what they do, and this may be a complete mistake over this. Maybe the Japanese printers are just different. They just printed it differently. That's a big possibility. But knowing LSS and knowing all the other things that they do of putting things into their game, I really do think that this is a pure example of, hey, cards get a little less flashy over time. It still flashes, just not as bright. So let me know what you think. Love to hear people's thoughts and opinions on this. Again, just to ramble a little bit at the end and to just further clarify, I'm being fully transparent with my ownings and what I have. I think I have around like 5 hearts or something, and I do have a good amount of Welcome to Wraith Belgium Unlimited. Back in the day, I thought it was like such a really great thing to buy because the game was popping off. So in 2020, I sunk a bunch of money into boxes of Welcome to Wraith Unlimited. They haven't been performing that great on the secondary market, but honestly, I really don't give a fuck. I wanted to buy them because honestly, I felt in my heart, hey, I love this game, and when these boxes are fully out of print, I might not be able to have an experience of opening up one of these boxes. So I want to park a bunch of money into it, get it in a closet, and then 10, 20 years down the line, I'd be able to hang out with a bunch of friends, bring up one of those boxes, and people look, whoa, then just have a good drafting experience, and maybe sell a couple as well to recoup costs, of course, but just as a thing to just hold long term because I love the game. So, you could have opinions on me whatsoever, but at least I'm being extremely transparent. But yeah, that's it. Cheers, man.